When I say it's a hard way, what do I mean? As far as the story of the farm we're on. We didn't have any money. Everything we had went to pay for this place. In those days, you couldn't automatically get a telephone. The man had a telephone and he was supposed to leave it for us. He was leaving the country and he had agreed that he would leave the phone for us. Otherwise, you had to apply for a phone at the phone company, and it could be 6 months to a year, even 2 years, depending on your area you lived in, before you were eligible to get a phone. This guy had a little bit of a mean streak. What do I mean? Well, first of all, we paid for the farm, but he wouldn't give me the keys to the house. I wanted to paint it and get it ready for bringing the family in to move here from Jerusalem, and the man refused to give me the keys. I was advised, well-meaning, but it was probably not the best wisdom, to get him to let me get in there and paint and then change the locks so that he couldn't keep me out of it, or just lock myself in and not let him in, and I'd be here. I just felt like the Lord spoke to my heart and said, not by might and not by power, but by my spirit. And so I wasn't prepared to do something to take that kind of stand. I wound up spending the night at a youth hostel in Tiberias. And the next day I spoke to the secretary of the Moshav, and we were able to work out the details, and he gave me the keys, and that was the end of that. He left the country, I think 3 to 6 months later. He was staying with his in-laws. What did he do? He turned around and he told the phone company he was leaving the country and they should shut the phone off. He didn't want the phone any longer. So he basically sabotaged our phone here, so we no longer had a phone. And it took us several months to get the phone back connected. And in those days also, everyone didn't have their own line. You had party lines. So the neighbor across the street and us shared the same phone line. So if they were using the phone line, ours would there would be no ringtone, nothing. It would just be blank. And then when they were off, we could use it, and vice versa. They couldn't call while we were on the phone. Times have changed. It didn't take that many years later when everyone had their own line. But that's how it was back in those days, back in the mid-'80s. He also, the guy that had sold us the farm, he also decided to tell people in the community, before they moved in. I think we had maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I was supposed to come here from Jerusalem. He told people in the community, if there's something you want on my farm, go ahead and take it. And so I saw what the farm was like before. When I bought it, there were fences around this place where I planned to keep the goats. I get here, and all of a sudden the fence is gone. I hunted down where it went, and I found the person, said, the fence belongs to my farm. You don't have a right to take it. Now, whatever this person, the previous owner, whatever happened before we signed a contract, he could do whatever he darn well pleased. But after we signed the contract, he didn't have a right to start giving away my property. There was also, I understood, an olive field that belonged to this property. And he turned around and gave it away to one of his closest friends. I heard about it after we moved here. So my neighbor told me that you have an olive field over here, but he turned around and gave it away to this other person. He didn't need it. Again, it wasn't his to do. Did we ever get the olive field back? No. We never knew how to go about that to get it returned to us. But lots of things like that happened over the years. And, you would think that people would be a lot kinder and a lot more righteous. That's not the way it necessarily is with people. But what I want to say is we learned a lot over these years, and we've learned to put our trust and hope in God. And again, that scripture, not by might and not by power, but by my Spirit, has really been something to lean on. We can lean on the scriptures. We can believe them. They are true.